Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. I went in and I showed you how to burn all this grouping in here. And then we did this one down in here. And I said I would come over afterwards and do all of this right in here. So I'm trying to get that all done. And then I started in on here. So I'm going to start showing you some more of the burning here, just to go over what we've done on this side. Okay, I've showed you how to do it before, but I'm going to do a little bit more on these, just to reinforce what I showed you before. I am also going to do this area down in here. Okay, this will be the next grouping we're going to go after, and we're marching our way down. So we're going to go and pursue this now. So hang on 1 second, and I'll bring my camera down so that you can see it, hopefully, and I stay in the camera range, which I apologize if I go out now and then, but most of it, I think it was in on the screen. So bear with me, and we'll proceed on. There we go again. Okay. Again, just to let you know, not that I'm keeping secrets here, I have an optivisor. I have several different types, some with extra lenses that you can slide down a loupe. It also has a light on it. So if anybody is ever interested in these magnifiers, I do carry them. So contact me through my email address and get a hold of me. I have a few of them that I supply. So if you're interested, it's a good thing to have. I put them on, especially when I'm wood burning, so I could see all these lines as best I can, and it would be a good thing for you. I don't know about. I'm not getting to be a young chicken anymore, so I'm trying to see what I can't see anymore. I can see, but it just aids in what you're doing. Now, I had you come in and burn all these lines in. Remember, we came along here with the pencil line, and I followed it around, and we did each one of them coming down through here. I think there was like 11 of them, but don't hold me to that. You want to get a spacing in there. I think I started out with about 4 millimeters up here. By the time you get to here, they're about 5 millimeters apart, but you don't have to measure it. You know, you can sort of eyeball it somewhat, and you know, you can measure it just to keep, you know, the size-wise to where we're going. So what I've done is I've burned all these in with the pencil, on the pencil line. Now, I burned from the outside. Oh, yeah. The other thing we did, too, let me put this back real quick. And what I also did, and I'm just reiterating again, I'm doing this over, I came in under here, and I came around, and I undercut it right up without banging into the existing burning. And then I come and I do the next one. And I did all of these. And it prepares you for the burn and gets this nice and smooth. And then I just keep on coming up. And you can see where the wood gets a little dirty. And this sort of cleans it up. So, and then I'll undercut the outside here just a little bit, just to get a little lift. Okay. Now, I also said to you, you shouldn't be burning unless you sanded this. And if you have a steady enough hand, I just came through there and smoothed that pretty well out by just laying the bit almost flat, you know, and if you get the control, I have pretty good control on what I'm doing because I've been doing it so long. But it's good to sand the surface. Even this, when we get down to this end of it, you should, okay, just to prepare it for the burn, so everything has a nice smooth line work, and there's not ripples and everything else going on in there. So here we go. I'm going to get the burning pen now, and I think the surface is pretty good. So what we've done is we've raised this almost to the point that I can get my nail in there and get a little flick, and I can feel some resistance. That's how deep. You're not going to China on this lift. You're just not doing that much. So I'm going to come in, and what we've done the first one with a quill, and the rest of these are hidden underneath because they're laying on top of each other. You don't see the quill. But we do like a 45-degree angle to the feather we had last. And you have the direction from the feather in front of you, and you're doing this next one, you're going in the same direction. So you want to keep that established. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to stroke in, and I'm trying to knock down that little lip that we just created. Okay, it softens it at the same time. It just lowers it just enough. And I'm keeping in the same direction of the feathers that are up here. And I'm trying to keep these as close as I can get. Now, sometimes I'll get a wider stroke in there, and I just come back and go back over it. Okay, as long as you're keeping the same consistency. And I always keep my finger on the piece when I'm stroking so that I have a feeling of the depth of cut, or depth of burn, I should say, not cut. And I do that. So here we go. And I would like to say, and you probably heard me a million times saying this, you got to practice this a little bit. I do make it easy, look easy, but it's not. And I'd be the first to admit that. And maybe you're a natural and you'll pick this up real quick, and that's great. I'm all for everybody picking it up, but for some, you just need to practice. You can get a piece of plywood, sand it out so it has this pretty smooth surface, and you make some C's on it, and then go ahead and practice even this. You know, you can just fake some of these feathers that look like they're piggybacking off of each other. And if you really screw up, you can always take the sander out, you know, some sandpaper, or if you have one of those sanders that I have with the mandrel, you can just buzz it out, take it down again, and start over. You know, you can fix these, you know what I mean? It's not like it's, if things don't come out right, you can make them right. You know, it's a little bit forgiving. I wouldn't say totally, but I've had, I had a case one time with, I was doing a bird of prey, teaching the kestrel, and I had a gentleman in the class that he had the whole thing finished, painted and everything else, and he dropped the piece, and you could have heard a pin drop in the class, and silence went for sure. And I picked up the piece, and to this day, I'm still trying to figure out how I did it. It went in 3 pieces, the bird. I picked it up, put it all together, glued it up. You never saw it. You never saw a break in it at all. It all went together like a glove. And I think everybody in the class was looking like, how'd he do it? You know, well, that was just dumb luck. And so you don't want to drop these pieces. I think in one of my videos here, I was showing you a carving one time. And I did drop the piece, but fortunately I did not damage the carving. But try not to drop them. They're delicate after a while, you know. You can chip off like a tuft. You can glue them back on and stuff like that, but it's best not to. I mean, it's a necessity that you have to, but you want to try to take care of your piece. And the other thing, too, that I haven't really discussed with you, it's because when we just got this done, and a lot of the stuff that's going on in here, when we make dust, like I'm lifting up over here, or we lifted these feathers or these feathers down here, there's dust that flies in here. So let me just give you a tip on that end, if I can find what I want to show you. Of course, you got to see my work area here. I don't want to advertise it. I can have a mess on my hands if I don't clean up all myself. Excuse me 1 second here. I'm going to try to get something over here. There it is. No, not quite. Hang loose. I'm looking for, it's called a rotary brush. And I have them around here somewhere. Over here. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to get one of these. Now, this is smart. This is like a horsehair on a wheel, on a mandrel. And what I do, again, just like with sandpaper, you want to run it at half speed. So I put it in my machine. You don't see it, but I'm adjusting my controller to run a lot slower. Now, I don't know how dirty this is, but before we even paint, we're going to do this. I'll come in here and I'll brush through this and get all the dust out. And you'll see this get brighter. All this dark area actually really shows up brighter, and you can get all the dust out. So I do this before I even start painting to make sure I get all the stuff out, even in here, up here, and it won't hurt the piece, but it gets the dust out. And this is great for that. And these are inexpensive, they're not that bad. So that's another thing you'd like to get into your repertoire. And it's not steel, it's horsehair. And even they have softer stuff than the horsehair too. Now, what I want to try to accomplish on this is when we first started, we had like a corner here that we were trying to roll so that it didn't look squared up. And that corner came all the way down right through here. So I'm just going to mark this in here just to show you where that, you can see the edge, it's still here. And here's like an edge over here. And what I want to do is I want to knock this down a little bit. So my favorite tool is a pear shape, or even, yeah, let me go with the pear. I could also use, this is the pear shape ruby, and diamond, I should say. And this is the fat, what I call a fat flame. And this would do it too, but I'm gonna go with the pear. And I'm gonna lay this in here. And what I'm gonna do, get my speed back up. You can hear that coming. Right in here, I want to roll this down, okay? Because I still have a corner. Excuse me. Let's hope I'm still in range here. Yeah. I want to roll this a little bit more because it's too squared up. So I'm going to come in here. I don't want to touch any of the wood burning. And if you do, and you bang into it, you can go back and touch it up. I'm just trying to roll. Remember how we started rolling edges? Well, that's what I was trying to say to you. This pencil line is roughly where I want to get that edge down and roll it. So it rolls this way and this way. I'm not taking too much off at all. I'm just trying to get that bulk out of there, right in that one spot. Now, it also is going to come down into here. So we have this outline already undercut, which is coming down to here. And I could see when I was rolling this, I stopped a little bit. So I'm going to come down into here just to smooth it out. And I'm trying not to go into the burn area that I did before. You get that rounded over a little bit right there, coming down to the edge. Now back here, I'll get my pencil line again because I was saying we rolled across here. Now we're down to here. I'm going to round that over a little bit more, just to get us into the right staging. I'm bringing this down just to get a little more of a roll before I get started here. So I'm trying to get a little bit more of a roundness in here, and it has to come right on through here like this. And it's just that, it's like a hard edge coming down. And I'm just taking a little bit down. Not real crazy. And I'm going to try to sneak up right around where the burn was. Now, one thing I want to do too, I know there's going to be some staging, and let me show you what I'm talking about here. This is the grouping. Let's see. It's going to be this group right in here. I'll get my thumb on it and come down. We're going to put this in, but then I need to also stage the tail, the wings feathers right in here. And I'm going to have to stage out a little bit more. So right in here, I'm going to put my pencil line in. And what I'm going to do, I still have my center line here, so just so I didn't totally lose it. And I'm going to do like half, and then I'm going to let you do the other half on this side. But what I want to do is take some more out right in here. And I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to go a little deeper than I've done before. Really going to just get a nice roll in here. And I'm undercutting right on that line that we had. Okay. So I'm still maintaining that line. I could see, still didn't get everything over here. So I'm trying to get a nice roll over so that there isn't like you can feel it. If you roll your thumb across here, you'll feel like a little bump. And it's not just going nice flow. Then take it down just a little bit more. It's hard to show you everything on camera here because it's, I don't know if it shows well or not, but anyway, this back in here comes down right through here, and you have more of a roll right in here. In fact, you could come right down along this edge almost, okay? And then round it up and over. That should be pretty good right there. Hope you can see that well. And I will put that pencil line back in just so you can see where the edge is. All right? So now that we roughed that up, I'm going to go back. And like I said, we're going to be burning in that area and doing some lifting. So I want to make things softer. Either you can hand sand it, or you can come in with the rotary sander. Again, I bring the speed down, and then I come in, and I just touch these. Don't try to get up into the burned area. I'll come right out to the edge. Now, I'm not going to concern myself down here. We're going to do this grouping in here today, and then that'll be for the next video, so I can give you stages. And then what I want you to do is this side, and I'll show you a little bit of this before I get done. Now, this seemed a little high over here, so I can use the sander just to take it down a little bit and smooth things out, okay? And even if you want to sand this out too, because we're going to prep this next with markings and what have you. And you can start by sanding that out too. Okay, now we got this surface kind of smoothed out. And what we want to do, if you look at the pattern, it's this grouping right in here. Right in here, I'm going to shadow that a little bit. It's this grouping right in here. We're going to do this one. Now, I'm going to come over here. If you notice, this swung back in here. So I'm going to come right into this area here. I'm going to come out, let me see, just to give you a number. I'm saying it's about 10 millimeters, okay, from this feather out. So if you came down 10 millimeters, I'm going to eyeball it. You could tell. Well, here, we'll keep myself honest. There, from the tip of this one down 10 millimeters. I'm a little too deep there. So I can see that it comes right in here. I'll get rid of that marking. So 10 millimeters down. I'm going to make this feather right there. So I'm going to come around here. Get this. Now, if you notice, this heads out this way. So I'm going to come around, turn this feather. And if you notice, it's sort of following this direction up here. So you already have some feathers going in that direction. So you're coming up here like this, joining up with them basically, okay? Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 you got to get in here. So the next one looks like, I'll say it's about 5 millimeters. So I'm going to eyeball that one. 5 will come in here. And we're basically mimicking this. And if you notice, we have, maybe about 4 millimeters off of this one. I'll go in the same direction and come down and draw that one in, okay? And then we have another one. It's a little lower, piggybacks off of there, and I'll keep the same spacing. Maybe I was a little tight in this one. I'm going to move this out just a little bit more. Right in here. Like that. Then I'm going to come out with this one and keep the same distance from here to here and go out that way. Okay. And then there's one more that gets tucked in right here. And that'll come out right to here. And we swing in. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this one just tucks in there. Now we have, if we flip it over, we have all of these. And these are about 4 millimeters apart, I think. Roughly. 3.5 to 4 millimeters apart as you come down. But we also have to concern ourselves with another grouping in here that's sneaking in, and that's these guys right in here. So what we'll do before we start marking this all the way out, so we don't forget these guys here, we have 3 of them in here. And right in this wedge, we already put this one in, this grouping right in here. So this wedge right in here, I'm going to put a C right like this. Hope you can see it. I'm not out of the camera range. And turn and come back. Then I'm going to get another C, which is like coming over the top of it, coming around. And that's probably about 4 millimeters back from this one. And that turns. And then I'm going to go one more, about 4 again, and then that turns right on the edge, right there. Okay, so we got them in, so they're in there. I forget what that grouping is. The true name, not I call like this a bib area, and it isn't a bib area, but that's my way of describing it. So now that we have them in, I'm going to start marking these coming down, okay? So here we go. Just for the heck of it, I'll count a little bit and see how many I count for. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You don't really see them all. Let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe 9 in there. So I'll flip that over. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep this spacing that we have, and we're keeping the same direction. And so we're mimicking each feather as we go down here. So I'm going to make it parallel, and I'm coming off of here about 4 millimeters off, coming down, and I turn in. Then I'm going to do another one. And I'm just drawing them in, coming around, turn them in. I'm going to do another one. Now, what you can do, after you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm going to ask you to go just a little bit bigger, okay? So we're going to make this about 5 millimeters. So I'm going to make it a little further apart and turn in. Then I'll do another one. Okay. And then I'll do another one. Okay. And then we got this guy pulling right in here. Okay. So there's that grouping. So you're starting out about 4 apart, 4, 4, 4, 4, and then 5, 5, 5, 5. It gets a little wider because it's spreading down. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come in with the burning pen and we're going to undercut these. First, what we have to do is to burn it in. And I come around and I try to do only half the feather. And then turn. And then I have the straightaway here. So I could see what I'm following. Okay. Then I'll come back. I'll get this. Burn in. Now what I'm doing on this side, I want you to do on the other side, but it's a little different. I'll show you. And I'm coming through here. Okay. And then I do another one. Okay. Hope you can all see this. Or I'll be out making another video. And I'm a little slow on the video taking because I had some problems with the computer. But I will be following up shortly with a few more videos back to back. I usually like to publish 3 to 4 days, but I had some little glitches on my computer, so I'm going to come back and burn this way just to get close to the burn. Then I'm going to come and do this one over here. I'll come out here. Turn. Then I want to lay this so I can see what I'm following line work wise. Right on down. And I'll stop short of the burn. Then I'll touch this up. Right there. Now what I could do is I could start this way. Follow the line work. I'm pressing in pretty good there, so just to let you know what I'm doing. And then I'm turning and joining up. And I'm pressing in again. Coming right on down. Take your time when you're doing this. Should be no rush. I'll do another one. Turn right in. And I'll come in again just to get the depth of cut. Because what we're doing is the burning pen is acting like a stop so that when we start grinding, it's already there and we're just lifting the feathers up. Now I'm coming through here and I'm turning right there. And then we have one here. But notice I have that grouping of 3 down there, so I don't want to bang into that. So now I'm going to do these 3 right in here. So I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to undercut them. I'm going to do this one. It's a little higher than the other one. Then this one's a little, so they're like they're piggybacking on top of each other. And coming around. Right to there. Okay? Now we got all those. Now we're in pretty good shape. So, what I want to do now is I'm going to go back to my flame tip, ruby flame. I'll slide that in. Turn up my machine to the speed I have. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to undercut all along this burn line. And it acts like a stop. And it allows me to undercut right up to the burn. And I want this side a little lower so it looks like it's going underneath it. So I'm going to take a little more material out along here. I'm sort of leveling that down a little bit, but I'm going to be gentle on this side. So, coming in here, cutting here, coming around. I'm going to come over the outside of this one, over here, coming around, coming down this one. Cutting that one. And I'm not taking a lot out. It's not like I'm going deep. I'm really not. Just trying to get the bit point in there and just right along the burn line. And I'm not going real deep. Maybe out here a little bit, we can lift a little bit more, but not up as we're running down. And we're lifting it's just here. And you get the point in. And once you get the knack of it, it goes pretty fast. Again, I got to reiterate that I make it look a little easier than it can be. But with practice, it comes. And I'm even trying to come up just before the burn so that these look like they're going under there just a little bit. So don't forget that too. And then we'll come in here without banging these 3. Come down here and undercut. Then I'll undercut right along this edge. Now, I'm going to do the top one here. I'm just going to smooth out the surface up top. I'm going to undercut around the top one. Then I'll come to the next one back and undercut that one. Just so it's raised up just a little bit. And then I'll do the third one back here. Just like that. Now we're pretty good shape. Now, if you did it nicely You don't have to sand it that much, you know, like I said. If you get this and lay it flat almost, you can do the whole feather and smooth it out. If you have a little wrinkle or two, just be gentle. Make sure your finger is giving you a steadiness. You can smooth these out. And if not, you get one of these guys, or you do hand sanding, one or the other, you know, whichever makes life easier for you. I think we're in good shape there now. Now, here's what happens. We do have a quill on this. Oop, got a pencil over here. We got a quill here. Okay. We got a quill here. Got a quill here. And do we have one? Yeah, we got one more quill. And then we lose them down here. Okay, now you also have a quill for this one. You got another one here, and you got one more here. Now, here we go. We're gonna do some burning now. So I'm gonna put the quills in, just shooting straight down on that line. I'm gonna come in here, straight, straight, straight. Then we'll come back here. We'll get this feather. One, two, three, and four. And we're good to go. Now, we're doing the same principle as what we've done on this grouping. We're going to come in here, and we're going to burn from the outside in, and on a 45-degree angle to the quill. So I'm coming in here. Okay, then I'll do another grouping right here, same direction as the other one I just did. Okay, now we'll do the other side one here. So we 45'd in this way, now we're going to 45 in this way. And then I'll do this one. Then I'll get this little guy here. Also do one more. We're going down that road. 45 and in. Okay. Now, we're going to go this way. We're going to do this grouping. I'm going to do some of these, but I'm going to let you do it. It's exactly like these. And I'll do a couple more here just to give you the flavor. And then I want to get you to the other side here yet. So we can keep you moving. I want to get to that edge. And when a pen touches the wood, that is at its hottest point. So what it does, it actually knocks down that lift that we just made, that little rise and fall. Like I said, if you can get your nail in there and just flick it, then you're deep enough. And if you notice, we don't see the quill, but see the direction that you have on top? I'm going to follow that same one, and that'll keep you in the right direction so you don't go all over the place with your angles for the veining of the feathers. And sometimes I miss a gap. I'll come back and go right over it again, you know. You just rake it through. But again, you have to make sure you're not pressing so hard in one area. You have to get like a certain touchy-feely to make it feel like you got it just flowing nicely. And I usually try to get myself into a nice, comfortable spot. Now we're off the quill here, so we don't have any quills up here. So I'm going to go just right up here and come around so you can see how this one's done, and all the rest are going to be done that way. It's just that the quill is hidden under the feather in front of it. And if I miss a spot, I just can lightly go right over the area again in the same direction to get the quills, the veining closer, okay? So that's going to happen all the way down here. So I'm going to let you do that, and I'm going to do this off camera, but you can see how this is coming together. Now, I'm going to come over here on these three and get these out of the way. So I'm going to come in from the outside in on a 45-degree angle. Because these are real small, you got to get the tip in there. Okay, ooh, didn't do that great of a job. Go back in there. There we go. Then I'll do the top one here. And I'm going to keep that angle and go and do the next one. And then I'm going to do the next one. And we'll do these here, 3. 1, 2. And this one. Okay, there we go. So I want you to complete this, and then I'm going to ask you to do the same thing over on this side. Now let's flip this back, and what we're going to do is we're going to mark out these guys here. So here's what I want you to do. If you notice, this feather's angled this way. This feather right grouping here is angled inward. So this came around. So this one has to come like down here, and it looks like it's going under. And then the next one is coming about 4 millimeters off, coming down, and then just spinning right where these end, right into them, like that. And then we have another one, about 4 millimeters out, spins around. Let me get that around here. And that butts right up into there, okay? Now, I'm going to have you draw the rest of these down and then burn them in. But one thing I want you to know now, I'm going to come in, I'm going to get my fat flame, just the pencil work I put in there. I'm going to lose a little bit of it because I need these feathers here are on top. These are supposed to look like they go under. So I need you to lower the material right along this grouping right in here. I'm going to come in without banging into my burning, and I'm going to lower right in here. Now, all the stuff I just put in, I took out. So I'm going to ask you to drop this surface right in here, so that these feathers look like they're going to roll into that. So I'm going to also come out over here and round that over a little bit. Now, Let me go in and draw that again for you so you can see it. I may have to touch up that one. You can see I hit it a little bit with the fat flame. I'm going to come here and I'm going to roll it just to the end of that one. So it looks like it's going under. Then the next one is 4 millimeters over. I come down and I spin that over. So this one's on top of this one. And then we do one more. 4 millimeters down, spins around, comes around. Now you're in good shape. Now you go 4 millimeters again and follow your channel that we cut in and bring that around. Then the same way here. And don't forget, you got these three. And that's going to come right in here, right in this little wedge. And you got this one, like here. Then this one piggybacks right on top of that. And then you got one more. And they're about 3 millimeters apart, something like that. Maybe 4, 3, something like that. And then you build all these down in the same direction. Notice the same direction as these in here. Okay? So, hope you got something out of this one. And we will pursue on and do the wing feathers down at the end here. And then we'll start to get into the tail, and then we'll get into the breast, and we'll start finishing this all up. And we're getting there. We're starting to make this owl come alive. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, I would ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you have anybody, a friend of yours that would like to do birds or whatever, I do several different types. Have kits available, products that you may need. I have them. Just write to me through my email, and it's in my comments section of the video. And I'll gladly help you out, and I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. So see you on the next video, and take care.